Hey everybody, Randy Patterson here with Boomerocity, and we're going to celebrate Elvis's 90th birthday today. As I post this, it's January 8th, 2025, and Elvis would have been 90 years old today. Can you believe that? 90 years old. If he had lived twice as long as he did, it would have been 84 years old, and he still would have been gone for 6 years. So, you know, died all those years ago, 48 years ago, and he's people still talking about him. People are still visiting his home. People are still playing his music, buying his records. Wow, what an impact Elvis Presley had. So I'm done two things to commemorate his 90th birthday. One you might have already seen, which is in the Boomerocity Memories section on this channel or on the website. And I talk about the first concert I ever went to, which also happened to be the first interview I ever conducted, which was the concert was Elvis Presley, and the interview, as I call it, was with Colonel Tom Parker, of all people, the guy who made Elvis famous. I was only 13, and it was just a chance meeting, and before the concert you can listen to it, so please listen to the first concert edition or episode on Boomerocity Memories. But the second thing I wanted to do to commemorate Elvis's birthday is going back into the Boomerocity archives. In fact, I'm going back 14 years, almost 14 years from when the interview took place, and that is with Elvis's lead guitarist James Burton. It was a fun, laid back, just freewheeling chat between James and I. And he had a lot to share, and it was a lot of fun. We talked a lot about his foundation, where he raises money to help teach people how to play guitar, have music in the schools. And it blows my mind that we have to raise extra money after our taxes have already been paid to teach kids an important part of life and an important part of learning, which is music. And James is a passionate contributor to that worthy cause. So we talked a lot about that, his guitars, some of his career, all of that. A lot of fun, a lot of fun. So at the end of the interview, what I'd like for you to do is listen to it all the way through. And at the end of the interview, I have a quick statement from the guy who was CEO of the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame at the time of the interview. His name was Terry Stewart. I talked to him a few times. Great guy, miss him, super guy. Current CEO is great too, like him too. But Terry gave some comments about James, and I thought that was worth putting on at the end of this interview. So listen to it all the way through the end. And if you don't mind, would you please hit like? And if you're not already a subscriber, would you hit subscribe? It doesn't cost you anything. It just helps us out. And please do share this video, or if it's the podcast you're listening to, please share the podcast with your friends. We're on all the major podcast platforms. This video is really more of a slideshow that I set to the audio. I edited the audio just a little. There's a lot of imperfections in it because I recorded 14 years ago not knowing what a podcast was, let alone thinking I might use the audio for a podcast. So I apologize for the sound quality, but you can hear James and I quite well, despite some of the bumps, hisses, and hums and whatever else is on there. So without any further ado, here is my 14-year-old interview with the great James Burton. Until next time, this is Randy Patterson with Boomerocity. Take care.
Yeah, Randy?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Yeah, everything seems to quiet down a little bit. We got people from Canada out there walking around and just, got things going. So.
Oh my! Is right now still a good time for you, or
this is fine. Okay. What I'd like to do is, I'm not going to be able to do 4 pages, but what we should do is probably, rather than interviewing each entertainer, you should just mention. I know you worked with a lot of entertainers and celebrities and so on, and what we should do is mention just a list of them, just to mention a few. But to go into detail with each artist is going to take forever.
I understand.
Okay, so the main thing the main thing is the foundation. Get started with that, and go on to some of the things that you have up in the
You bet.
first page. So is that phone going to bother you?
No, not at all.
Okay. You know what I could probably do is take it off the hook. Hey, oh, okay, yeah. The excitement today here, I probably should have done this on another one of my houses or something instead of coming down here because it's a madhouse.
You're doing a lot of remodeling, huh?
Well, yeah, we're changing all things around. We got the studio, and we're going for our studio B. We have A, and then we're gonna go for B, and it's just a lot of stuff going on right now. And with the people coming in, tourists, summertime, the people like to come in on tours and see things.
Yeah.
But anyway, we can get started.
You betcha. And first of all, thank you so much for making the time. I knew when I sent you the several pages of questions, I knew it was a long shot to be able to get them all. But I thought, if I don't ask, I'll never find out. So
I'm doing my book. I said, well, maybe I ought to finish my book and let Randy check that out. You got a lot of information here. I don't know where you got a lot of them. Well, what's his name said you didn't know about the Black and White Knight, Roy Orbison.
I know, and I can't believe I didn't, but a big DJ here that was tied with XM Radio, he's a friend of mine, and he turned me on. He goes, oh, dude, if you're going to talk to Mr. Burton, you need to watch this movie. So I had to borrow and watch, and boy, what an incredible DVD that is.
Wasn't that great? It's still number one video.
Is that right? Wow. Just the mix of people there, and it still stands after all these years. 23 years ago, and it still stands. Well, of course, everything you've worked on is the big stuff is just iconic in its own right. So, but yeah, it's phenomenal stuff. And I don't know what Dennis had told you, but when I was a kid in Phoenix, growing up in Phoenix, East Tennessee by birth, but grew up in Phoenix.
Yeah.
I caught I saw you with Elvis on Easter Sunday in 1973. And it was just like the highlight of my life. And it was the site of my first celebrity interview. I was at the show 2 hours early, standing around the stage, and Colonel Parker walked up, and it was a short conversation, but it was memorable to me. So.
Oh yeah.
But anyway, it's just an honor and just a thrill for me to be able to talk to you. But
well, thank you.
I do want to ask you about your foundation. What can you tell me about it?
Well, in 2005, I've always wanted to do my show. All my friends in the business I've worked with, we're like a big family. And I've always wanted to do my own show and invite my friends. Well, by doing that, my wife and I talked. There's something that was missing, something I really wanted to do, and I discussed it with my family and my wife and I and my son and my daughter, and we decided that this would be a great opportunity time to form a foundation, which we did, the James Burton Foundation, because I wanted to give something back to the kids, work with the kids, give them a challenge for the music through the, in their lives. And by doing that, it was fantastic. To be able to help the kids. We got music back in schools, with teachers teaching the kids how to play. It's just unbelievable. And being able to go to places like St. Jude's Hospital, furnish instruments for the kids in school. In the hospital there in Memphis, Danny Thomas's hospital there. It's fantastic. To do things for the Shriners, guitars for the Shriners, because they have a wonderful hospital for the children, and go to the VA hospital for the veterans, to go to do all those wonderful things like that, and being able to get music back in schools was just unbelievable, fantastic. And my friends, doing my show, we created. This is all. The thing that we do for the kids. It's a non. What do you call it? The
Nonprofit?
Nonprofit, yeah. All volunteers. Nobody gets paid. We don't make a dime. The money goes strictly to work with the kids and the music. And we that was a great thing about the studio to get them in to do some recordings, see how they're progressing in their music and what they're doing with their lives. It's just a great thing. And and to invite my friends, the artists that came and performed at my show, donated their time for the kids, for the foundation. Just unbelievable thing,
When's the next show that you're going to have?
Well, we're hopefully we're looking at next year. This year is a very, very busy year, and I want to get the studio. We're also going into Studio B, which we're going to have an extra. We're going to have two nice working rooms, and so we're going for that to get that happening. And hopefully, if everything comes together the way we plan, we'll be able to have a wonderful show next year.
I hope to make that one. I know the last one you had, I think it was the last one you had one of my other favorite guitarists, Phil Kagi, performing there. And,
Phil Kagi played, I think it was probably the second or third show we did. We had some incredible talent. I mean, the list of talent we've had is just to blow you away.
Yeah.
Steve Lukather and Eric Johnson, Brad Paisley, Steve Warner, Dr. John. I mean, the list, Steven Seagal.
Wow.
I mean, the list just goes on forever, and which we could add that later into the interview. But
you bet.
Just the wonderful people that come and that came and donated their time is just amazing, and to continue what we're doing for the teaching the kids through the foundation, it's just wonderful.
So from a near-term standpoint, what is, say within the next year, what do you hope to accomplish for the foundational goals? What are you hoping to accomplish?
Well, we're working on one of my long-term goals is I bought a building around the corner, so we have the whole corner there. I want to put in a car museum, guitar. It's going to be guitars, and lots of memorabilia. Just incredible. It'll just be so wonderful, and the kids love stuff like that. And then we have a lot of wonderful folks from around the world come here. The tourists, they love it. They love it here. I just had a group of people from Canada here, from Ontario, walking around taking pictures. We have a statue of Elvis and myself right in front of the Municipal Auditorium, where I played there when I was 14 years old with all the top artists. And Elvis came there, performed there. Hank Williams, you're talking Jerry Lee Lewis, all the top artists, Roy Orbison, everyone performed there. All the great country entertainers, a lot of rock and roll entertainers. Even Jimi Hendrix performed in that building.
No way. Wow.
Oh, yeah, it's just incredible.
So it's seen everybody from beginning to end of rock and roll so far, huh?
Yep. And the great thing is working with the kids, teaching the kids. Another goal that we have to add to that is we're having volunteers come in and teach the children how to play. And we have a gentleman that volunteered his time to work on the guitars and instruments for the kids. And of course he has planned to work on professional people's instruments as well. And that's another part of the business that he would charge a small fee for working on outside of the foundation of what we're doing for the kids, which will be another part for that, But just to do the foundation for the kids and fix the instruments and put them in top shape and to keep the ball rolling, And I'd like to record the kids, get them on the. Hopefully, we'll add the DVD to that as well. When they're sitting there playing, they can go home and see themselves doing what they're doing.
Wow.
And and have a CD of what they played, and it's fantastic. Actually, when we opened January the 8th on Elvis's birthday, we actually had some young kids come and play, and we recorded them in the studio.
Wow.
We had some young singers and young players, and it's fantastic.
What are you getting a lot of support from any of the guitar manufacturers or anybody like that?
Yes, we are. We certainly are. We from a lot of companies. They're just so blown away with what we're doing with the kids, and they've offered their services in any way possible that to make it happen. And I think it's wonderful. And doing the artists that come and do the shows,
Mm-hmm.
and the manufacturers that furnish things that we need to make all this possible are just fantastic.
Well, from a standpoint of in the life of the foundation so far, what's been the most memorable thing that's been accomplished so far?
Well, I think working with the kids and bringing the studio into the function and getting the music in schools,
Mm-hmm.
and working with the kids is just helping the kids. It's just truly an honor, a blessing from God. To be able to pull this together and make it work. Getting music back in schools was a wonderful challenge, and we did. So that was a great thing, and I think just to remember what we're doing for the kids is very important.
Oh,
and
absolutely.
It gives them a new life. Just amazing, the emails and the letters and the phone calls I get from all the kids, the parents, the people involved in music, what it's doing for the kids, and what it's doing for them in school is just amazing. Teachers call me and tell me what a wonderful thing it's done for the kids. They want to go to school, or they can't wait to get there to play their instrument and do their homework and make good grades. And it's wonderful. What's happening?
That's great. Well, for any of my readers that would like to support your foundation directly, what's the best way they can go about doing that?
Well, they can. We have the website. It's James Burton Music. Let me give you. They can also through the address here, which is James Burton Foundation, 714 Elvis Presley Avenue.
Okay.
And that's in Shreveport, Louisiana, 71101. And on the website, we have there's a couple ways to go in. Let me see if Dennis has the form. It would be James Burton Fest, FEST, I believe .com.
Okay. Alrighty. So they can go to either the site or drop a check in the mail directly to you guys, and either way they can be able to donate and support.
Dennis, quick question here for Randy. On the website, they can go in for the foundation for donations or whatever. Is it James Burton Fest?
It's JamesBurtonFoundation.org.
What?
O-R-G. That's a nonprofit. JamesBurtonFoundation.org is our new website, and they can.
Okay, here he's going to tell you.
Okay.
Hey, Randy.
Hey.
You can go to JamesBurtonFoundation.org.
Okay. And they can be able to donate online there.
Yep, they sure can. We've got a donor button right there.
Beautiful. Beautiful.
Okay.
Good deal. Thank you.
Okay, hold on. Here you go.
Okay, so we're going to have to, I'll talk to you about that, what we got to do on clean out back there. I'll get with you. But okay, Randy?
Yes, sir.
Okay, you got that, right?
Yes, I did. Yes, I did. I thought you were talking to the other gentleman. I'm sorry. Yes, I did get it. So thank you.
Oh, okay.
I'd like to shift gears over to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, where my good friend Terry Stewart's the CEO.
Let me run back in my office. Okay, go ahead and talk. Go ahead.
Okay. So you were inducted in 2001. When you found out you were going to be inducted, what thoughts went through your head on that?
Well, it was incredible, man. The excitement, and what an honor. I mean, truly an honor. I believe that any award that you accomplish in your career, or your music, or whatever you're doing, is truly an honor, and it proves the hard work that you've done, what you've accomplished over the years, and that how it's accepted and appreciated, you know.
Yep.
And any way you look at it, it's an honor. Incredible.
So Keith Richards inducted you. Were you and Keith friends before that, or was that kind of a new thing for you? And
Keith and I go back to 1964 Shindig.
Wow.
I had a group called the Shin Dogs.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
And Keith, the Rolling Stones came and they brought a singer that was on the show, Howlin' Wolf.
Oh yeah.
And I was nominated to. Actually, I was inducted to play guitar for Howlin' Wolf on the show. It was great.
Wow.
And Keith and I have been friends forever, and he has been wonderful. He has helped us in the foundation in all kinds of ways, making donations and everything. And he keeps telling me he's gonna, you know, he's always been he's a very busy person.
Oh yeah.
And but his one of his goals and my goals is for us to play together on my show.
Oh wow.
The show we do here, the Guitar Festival. And of course, Keith and I have worked together on the Graham Parson taping that we did up in Santa Barbara and Universal City in California there.
Wow.
And of course, we played together, and it was just an incredible honor to have him induct me into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. I don't know if you know some of the other people that were inducted at the same time.
Yeah, but I can't recall which ones they were. I know in my research.
No,
I saw
Michael Jackson.
Oh
Michael
yeah.
Jackson, Aerosmith.
Yep.
Queen, Solomon Burke.
Oh yeah.
Paul Simon.
Man.
And I guess the list continues to go on from there.
Oh yeah. Well, that's a great organization. I'm glad they're still doing those kinds of things because sometimes I question who they nominate and induct, but I think you being in there is a definite must, and that's just a phenomenal thing to have Keith introduce you. Now, are you and Keith going to work on anything in the future besides the guitar show?
Oh, we hope so. Absolutely. I'm hoping to get him down here in my studio, and we'll do some recording together and have some fun. And I know he's always there with me in the foundation for the kids, because he believes in the same thing that I believe in, in helping the kids and doing all those good things like that. And which is, this is all a blessing from God that we can do this, and
Yep.
He makes all these wonderful, great things happen.
That's great.
So we're excited about a lot of things, and just making music together. It's just a wonderful thing.
Now, I listed in my questions all the different awards, and I'm sure it wasn't an exhaustive list, but some pretty prestigious awards and honors that you've been bestowed. Out of all of them, is there one that you look at and you just say, gosh, look, Mom, look what I've done,
Yeah. I pretty much look at all of my awards like that, to me, it's an honor to accept any award. I do have one coming up here real soon, as a matter of fact, on September the 10th. They're going to induct me into the museum, Hall of Fame Museum in Faraday, Louisiana. Jerry Lee Lewis,
wow, yeah,
Mickey Gilley, and I don't know who all's there, but I've had to call to come and they're going to present me with the induction there.
Wow, that's great.
But there, all these awards is truly it shows the work that you've done and through your career and everything. All the awards to me is truly an honor and a blessing from God, because it proves that you're working towards some goal to do good things, and you give 120%, and I just believe that's what it's all about.
Yeah. Well, speaking of your work, and I mean, again, your work with and behind other people is just incredible. But as far as your solo work, Notice you have a relatively new recording out of gospel music. What can you tell me about it?
Yeah, I came home off a tour, and I love gospel music. Elvis, after every show, he loved singing gospel music, and he would always want to sing. He would want to, after performing 2 shows, he'd want to go upstairs to his suite and sing gospel music the rest of the night, and which would go on for hours and hours, and he just loved it. But I've always loved gospel. I enjoy playing. I like playing in church, and I think it's great. My wife had a great vision. God came through with a vision of me doing a gospel album, and with family, and my son plays and sings, and she's had 2 nieces that were really good singers. So we put this project together along with my friend, the keyboard and great singer, entertainer, Eddie Anders, my good friend, who he's up in Jackson Hole, Wyoming now. But Eddie talked to my wife, and they came up with an idea to do this project, and she gave him an idea, and Louis said, I think the title of the CD, the project should be God Loves You, and we did that, went in studio, cut that record, and man, it's really great. I had some wonderful guests come on, like Marty Haggard, Merle Haggard's son, and great singer, and he came on, performed a couple songs with us, and we just put this, Eddie and my wife and I, we put this project together, and it's just wonderful. My son played and sang on it, and then we had these other guests, and we, it was a great project. We just had so much fun doing it, and I want to do another one as soon as I can slow down enough to get it back in the studio and do it.
Wow. Well, I grew up on gospel music, raised in the South before moving to Arizona, and I love the old gospel tunes, man. It brings back all sorts of memories. I'm looking forward to listening to that one. I haven't picked up a copy yet, but definitely want to listen to it.
We'll get a copy off to you.
Oh, I appreciate that. That would be wonderful. So you still tour, right? You still do your own solo tours?
Yeah. Sometimes I think I'm busier now than I was when I started. But it's just amazing. Nonstop. And what little time I have off, I try to spend it with my family and here in Shreveport, And but the thing is, and with the foundation, of course, when I'm not traveling, then I'm here working and helping with all these projects going on around for the foundation and for the studio and stuff, and starting to work on the museum thing that we're putting together, and it's just it's great. I travel a lot, and as a matter of fact, I've got so much stuff coming up the rest of the year. I couldn't find the time to even do a show this year because of my schedule.
Oh, wow.
And so hopefully, I know next year is looking quite the same way, but I'm going to try to fit it in for next year if it works out.
I'll have to pick up one of your shows then, too. I'd love to see you just perform, just you, and watch your a solo show without anybody else in the spotlight there. I think that would just be a very rare treat for me personally. So I hope to.
Yeah, I'm doing a show coming up with Gunnar and Matthew, the Rick Nelson boys. Yeah, we're doing that up in Wisconsin.
Oh my God!
Bay up in that area. And I've got a couple of shows I'm doing with them before, and the next day after that, I have to go to Vienna, Austria.
Wow. Well, I keep up with you on Facebook and Twitter, and it's just amazing where you wear me out just reading your schedule, where you're off to, and around the world and stuff. So
now you know how I feel. No, I'm just kidding.
Well, I'm about to turn 52, and I feel like I'm 95 just looking at your schedule. So
yeah. Well, I think once you get busy and everything, you'll always be 19.
Yep. There you go.
Just hang in there.
Well, I'd like to shift gears, if you don't mind, about guitar playing. One of my readers had asked, who inspired you to pick up the guitar?
my mother said that ever since I was big enough to walk, that I just ran around the house singing and beating on stuff like I'm playing guitar. And the music, God blessed me with my talent, and it's pretty much born in me. And I never had training or lessons or anything. I just picked it up by ear, and the good Lord was my teacher. And I don't think you can get any better than that.
Absolutely not.
But being able to pick up an instrument and play by ear, and go play with whoever in any place, and just love it and enjoy it and be right on. That's truly a blessing. And I listened to a lot of. I played radio a lot. I pretty much was raised on country music and got into rhythm and blues, which bluegrass, gospel, which turned into rockabilly, and then rock and roll, and then I guess I was pretty much born at the right time. I got into music when the music was really good, the simplicity was great, the songs you could understand the lyrics, and good songs, and good music.
Yep.
And I was blessed with the right time, 50s, 60s, 70s.
Yep.
And it started changing quite a bit during the 80s and 90s.
Yeah, I think after the 80s, with some exceptions, you can pretty much write it off. Now, that's all off the record, of course, but to me, 50s through maybe very early 80s is when all the good music was, in my opinion. Now, I read on your site that maybe I misunderstood, but did I read correctly that your first guitar was a 53 Fender Telecaster?
My mother and Dad bought me my first Telecaster, 53 Tele, and that's. I saw that guitar in a music store here, J&S Music in Shreveport. I was walking down Milam Street, and I looked up and saw this guitar hanging in the showroom window there at the J&S Music. And boy, that guitar really caught my eye, so I went home and told my mother about it. So my dad comes home from work, and she said, well, I think he's found a guitar he's pretty much set on, one he really liked. So my dad said, well, take him down and get it for him. So we went down the next day and looked at it, and I played it, and oh, man, that was me. Yeah. Had my name all over it. And so Mother and Dad bought that for me. That was back in the 50s, and was, I guess, around, 52, 3, something like that. Beautiful guitar, man, and I still have that guitar. It's been on thousands and thousands and thousands of records.
Oh my God!
It's been with most of the top artists of the world, and then in '68, '69, my '68 Paisley, I played with Elvis, became very famous with Elvis and Emmylou Harris, the Hop Band, and just a lot of great artists. That I played that guitar with. And then I did my signature guitar for Fender, the James Burton model, which everyone pretty much got what they call a signature model. But I started that program with Fender, me and Dan Smith, the signature model, JB model. And then, of course, other guitar players, Eric and Jeff Beck and Ingve Malmsteen. Everybody got signature models after that. Fender started spreading it out, But I started that program, the signature model.
Wow. How's the latest, how has the entire line been received over the years, and especially your current one?
Fantastic. I've done 2 or 3 different models, the black and gold paisley, the red and black paisley, with some different colors, a solid pearl white, solid red. Then my latest one, the one with flames on it, they all sold really well, and they're still selling. It's amazing. And it's a great guitar. I did a 3 pickup Telecaster with a 5-way switch.
People are picking that up pretty well, though, I take it then.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, it's selling real well, and I put the Flame Paisley together for my show in 2005 when I did my first show, and I presented every artist on the show with the James Burton signature model.
Wow.
A Flame guitar.
Oh, wow.
Eric Johnson looked at his I gave him, and he said, and he's standing there holding it, and he told me, he said, "Oh my God, I don't even own a Telecaster. This is my first Telecaster." And he said, and he told his tech guy, he said, "Go set it up for me, and I want to play it on the show."
Wow.
So he played it on the show.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Man.
And Brad Paisley and all the guys, Dr. John.
Oh yeah. Wow. Well, Brad Paisley's like top of my list on the country charts, man. He's
he's a sweet man. He's just a wonderful talent. He did my very first show, 2005. Him, Eric Johnson, Dr. John, Steve Cropper. I mean, Gunnar and Matthew, and the list goes on forever. Even I had my old buddy Seymour Duncan came and played, and we just had a big lineup. Johnny Rivers, and oh my God, we just had I had probably about 18 or 19 artists on the one show, you know.
Well, I definitely want to make your next one, because I haven't been to one yet. I'm going to the Dallas Guitar Show this weekend. I never miss it. But I definitely want to catch your next one. So you said it would probably be next year sometime?
Yeah, I'm swamped this year. I'm going to be out of the country, everything. There's my wife walking through here. My wife just walked through here. I can't believe it. Louise. Louise from Louisiana. Yeah, she said, just telling me I had an appointment that I forgot about today. But we're doing pretty good so far.
Okay.
Where are we? I forgot where we were.
Oh, we're talking about your line of guitars, but I'll ask you this. When I started drilling into the manufacturing of guitars, when I almost went to work for Henry Juskowitz over at Gibson about 3 or 4 years ago, and started finding out how much the manufacturing of guitars has changed, and a lot more technology involved, a lot more precision, they say. And we, this kind of ties back to your first Fender. How do you feel technology has improved or taken away from the manufacturing of a guitar?
Well, Leo and I were talking, and I told Leo one day, I said, Leo Fender never stopped experimenting. He felt like that if he handed a guitar to someone and that was the best guitar of their lives, and they felt that there's nothing could be better on that guitar. I think they've made the best guitars. I think making something different is what the manufacturer is trying to do. They're trying to the technology. They're trying to change the pickups, the different. Some people like different knob control, volume. There's a lot of technology stuff that the actual instrument is up to the individual. When you pick up an instrument, how does it feel for you? Another person might pick up that instrument and say, "Man, this is not for me," But the technology is one thing, but the actual playing, when a guy's hands touch that instrument, that's when it happens. The instruments are all different. There's hardly no two guitars alike.
Yep.
Even though they came out of the same mold and they have the same equipment on them and everything, there's a difference.
It's a personality.
Isn't that amazing?
Yeah, it is. I hear that from many great musicians, and I'm not a musician, unfortunately. I just live through you guys, right? So, but I understand how that is. It's just and there's a connection between the player and that instrument. It's almost like a real human relationship.
Yeah, the actual playing of the instrument's in your hands, and your touch and your feel and things that come from the heart.
Yep.
In the soul, and I mean, it's like two people can pick up the same instrument, and what you hear is two different people.
Yep, exactly.
So some of these questions are very hard to answer, but I just think the technology is one thing, and the actual person playing the instrument is another thing. Every person playing an instrument has their opinion of that instrument and the way they play.
How many guitars do you own?
Oh my God, I have no idea. I've got a few guitars.
I bet.
And I want to display some. I don't know. I couldn't even put a figure on it.
Well, I figured as much, but I thought I would ask just in case you
more
happen to
than,
know.
I know it's more than 2 or 3 because I like to play 2 or 3 different instruments. And I enjoy playing different instruments, And the thing you'll know about a studio player are pretty much required to play a lot of different instruments. Like I love playing dobro, banjo, mandolin, acoustic, slide dobro, acoustic dobro, most all string instruments. And that's most guitar players sort of fall into that bag.
Yeah.
But when you go in the studio to cut with an artist, the producer might say, "Hey, how about playing 12-string today?" Or acoustic, or "Hey, put some dobro on this today," And that's the thing that we do,
Well, from obviously you're known for you're playing a Fender on the electric, but what's your preference on an acoustic?
Well, I play a lot of different acoustics. I love the Taylor. Taylor guitar is probably one of my most favorite guitars now. Bob Taylor and Kurt Lustig. These guys are like my friends when they got started in the company. Started building when they were building like 5 guitars a day.
Yep.
Went from five guitars a day to 5,000 a day, and just unbelievable. And quality, first-class quality instruments. And they would not release an instrument unless the quality was inspected, perfected, and ready to go. And they were my friends, and they gave me some Taylor guitars when they first got started that I played and I loved. And I just think it's one of the finest guitars made today. There's a lot of different guitars on the market. And I think it's good. I think competition's good.
Yeah. Did you read Bob Taylor's book?
I haven't, but I got a copy of it.
It's a great book.
Yeah. Well, he's just a good friend of mine, and Doyle Dykes, Doyle comes and plays my show. Doyle Dykes just wrote a book, as a matter of fact. He called me the other day and he said, "Oh, I'm in Nashville. I was hoping you'd be here. I want you to come play with me on the show." And he said, "I'm doing a book signing." And I said, "Well, be sure and sign a book to me." And he said, okay. Anyway, they sent me one, and I haven't had a chance to read it. He said, "You're in it. You're in my book."
Well, I'm going to have to find it so I can read it then and review it on my website.
And somebody called me the other day and said, "Have you read Keith's book?" Keith Richards. I said, well, they've already called and told me that he'd mentioned something about me in his book.
Yep.
But all these guys are friends of mine. Eric Clapton,
wow.
Jeff Beck, Jimmy Page. Jimmy Page called me one time, came into Los Angeles, and we hung out for 2 weeks together. And, we're all like a family. It's just wonderful.
That's great. Another question about guitars is, obviously you have quite a collection. Is there a holy grail that you would love to get your hands on and add to your collection that you don't already have?
I can't think what that would be. What would that be?
Maybe one you got rid of that you'd like to have back, something like that. I don't know.
God, I don't. I don't. I can't think of anything. There's a lot of old guitars that you always want to get a hold of. It. Jimmy Rogers played.
Yeah.
Or something that's really, it's like Marty Stewart playing the Clarence White B-Bender. The B-Bender, Clarence White and I were friends, and he brought me this guitar and said, "Tell me what you think about this." So he was started building the B-Bender, right? He did, and I took him to Fender to see if they might be interested, and of course at that time they weren't ready for a B-Bender, and but Marty Stewart's playing Clarence White's B-Bender, which is, I thought, pretty interesting little deal.
Mhm.
And there's some other guys that Gene Parsons and a lot of different people that had put some of those together, the B-Benders, and which is not me. But, you know, I'm not really, I can't really think of anything unless I could come up with an old Martin that is too good to be true, or an old Gibson, something like that, you know, something. You know, the acoustic instruments are very, very fragile instruments, and they're very popular with the collectors to get really a good one, you know. Like if you can get the Stradivarius violin,
Yep.
that's the one to have, you know. You know what I mean? And of course, if you're looking for a guitar or something like that, call George Gruen.
Yep.
He knows guitars in and out, and he knows all the real collector ones. And I have several collector guitars. And you know, the pink page I played with Elvis became very popular. You know, famous with a lot of guitar players out there because they all wanted one, and it didn't. They didn't make a lot. They didn't make a lot of the originals. You know. But that's a great guitar, and I have one of my Paisleys that I'm not Paisley, but one of the a pink Paisley, the one I played with Elvis, is in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame up in Cleveland, along with one of my jumpsuits and some other stuff.
Wow.
You know.
Hey, this wasn't part of my list, but whatever happened to Elvis's black acoustic that was on all, you know, like in the first part of the 70s, it had his name in cursive on the neck and all that? Because I noticed towards the end of his life, he wasn't seen on stage with that one anymore. Did that get busted up or something, or did he give it away?
You know, I really don't know, but he went through a lot of different guitars. You know, he played the Jumbo 200s, the blonde ones. He threw two of those away one night in one show, two blonde ones, and then he played the Gibson guitar with the insignia, the karate insignia on it. And I don't know what happened to all those guitars. I'm sure they're probably someplace in the collection through Grayson, and you know, I don't know. I tell you, Elvis did not care about material things. You know, he would give you the shirt off his back. You know, he enjoyed giving stuff away, you know, to people and cars and all that stuff. You know, he enjoyed it. You know, that was one of the things that made him real happy. He loved doing that.
Yeah, there's not enough people like that at his level today that are doing those kinds of things. I mean, it's sad to see.
Yeah. Well, John Denver was a wonderful, generous man too, and a great guy to work with, and a great talent. But you're right, Elvis. You know, he just he loved his fans. He just you know, he loved his God. He always took his Bible with him every place he went, and he really enjoyed reading it. He once in a while we'd all sit down and he would quote scriptures out of the Bible, and everybody's looking around and said, "Oh, let me go to my room, get my Bible out, and check this." He could not even open the Bible and quote all these scriptures, man, and almost word for word, man. Unbelievable. And he loved it, you know. He was just a great guy, man. Put aside being a great entertainer, singer, he was a natural talent. He was another God's gift, you know, to the music world and industry, and became the icon.
Do you need to get that?
No, I'll call back.
Okay. Well, you know, he's one of those rare talents that you wonder, even if he hadn't gone into rock and roll, if he had just gone into Southern gospel, you know that would have been a world changer there as well.
Oh, absolutely. It would have. Can you imagine what he could do for the young folks today, and you know, bringing them into the love of God, you know, and being a Christian, and all the wonderful things that go with it, you know?
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, the following, you know, J.D. Sumner, you know, Elvis told me stories about when J.D., the the James Blackwood brothers, you
Yes.
know, when they would go do shows, and J.D. singing bass, and Elvis loved bass. He loved gospel, so he would go to the back door and try to sneak in to see the show, you know, because he loved gospel and he wanted to be there. So J.D. let him come in and be there, you know. So it was great, and of course he loved J.D. He loved all the gospel groups, quartets around the world, and he talked about it a lot, you know, and he always wanted to sing gospel after the shows, and we would just go up for hours and hours and sing and play gospel music.
Would you say that's your most poignant memories of him, or
No, just memories of being with him in general. It was a wonderful 9 years. Just what a great man he was, you know. He touched so many people around the world, and did so much, you know, to help people, and you know, I just remember what just the most incredible, great person he was, and other than being just an incredible entertainer, actor, singer, and you know, he was just a wonderful, fantastic person. And he loved his family and all of his cousins, brothers, and uncles, and aunts. And you know, when he accepted me, when I went to work, when he called me and asked me to put a band together for him in '69, he called me in '68, but I couldn't do. I was doing an album with Frank Sinatra. But when he called me in '69, we talked for 3 hours on the phone.
Oh my gosh!
Wanted me to put a band together for him and open Las Vegas at the International Hotel, which is now the Hilton. But incredible things just happened through all that, because first off, it was a very hard decision I had to make, because I had so many clients that I worked with in the studios, recording and that field, and it was a very tough decision on my part to say, okay, I'll do this and I'll go. But I did do it, and it worked out wonderful, great.
That's neat.
And because I didn't lose anything, I continued my career, because I had a career before Elvis and a career after Elvis, and this is all a blessing from God on me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And being able to work with so many great entertainers in the world, and I love it. And I'm wonderfully blessed by it, and I have a wonderful family, and all the wonderful support from my family and my mother and father. My father passed away. My mother is 96 years old. And,
oh my gosh!
And she's just you know, she's a wonderful lady and hanging in there, and I go visit her every chance I get, and we spend as much time together as we can. And she lives here. She's here in Shreveport.
Oh, great.
So, you know, we're truly blessed.
Yeah. Listen, I as you know, I have a ton more questions, but I want to be respectful of your time, Mr. Burton. So, when do you need to break loose? Because I know your wife just reminded you of another appointment, so I don't want to intrude on that, but I do want to ask you more questions.
Okay. Well, what we should do? Where are we at now with?
Well, I tell you what, why don't we do this? Because I had some wrap-up questions at the end, but we can make this a breaking point with one more question, and then perhaps maybe get together later.
What we could do is probably continue with later with like the artists you want to talk about, Bill Hawkins, Rick Nelson, Merle Haggard, Bakersfield Sound, all that stuff.
Yeah.
See, what I think we should do with the artists, rather than separating each one for like a paragraph or whatever, I think we should mention a lot of people I worked with, and just say, just to mention a few of these names and everything. And if there's one or two you might want to quiz on something, I don't think we should do all of them.
Okay.
The reason I think that's, you know, because a lot of people, a lot of questions I get in interviews is, who's your favorite artist?
Yeah, I know. You can't go there.
You can't. You know, you can't, because it's not only a business, but these people are all professional. They're all great in their own right. And there's, how do you say one's better than the other? You can't.
You
You
can't.
know, they're all great.
Yeah, and that would never be my intention on the questions either, because I know you're still working and you still think highly of these people. So, but why don't we do this? Let me wrap up with one more question, and then we'll get back later on the others, and
Okay.
And I'll restructure some of those other questions for later. But
Okay.
any new talent that is commanding your attention today? Is there somebody new up and coming as far as a guitar singer is concerned that you're looking at and going, oh my boy, this one's great?
Well, I think a lot of the sound alike, look alike. I think
hear you.
they're all great. I still miss some of the old ones, that are not being played on the radio. I think the radio's changed an awful lot in the business, and
Well, who do you miss?
well, I miss a lot of them. I miss hearing Hank Jr. I miss hearing a lot of Merle Haggard. I missed a lot of the old Hank Williams.
Yeah.
I miss some of the people that really made the music world, opened up the lives of a lot of people in the music world, and of course I appreciate all the new talent too.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of great ones out there, like the Keith Urbans and the Brad Paisleys. Oh, wow, these guys, they're all fantastic, and there's just a whole bunch of them out there that's just fantastic. Now, I like them all. I mean, because I don't get a chance to listen to a lot of radio and stuff, because when you're in the studios creating music and everything, you don't get a chance to go back and listen to a lot of stuff. But I like a lot of stuff out there. I just don't. This little girl singer, Christina Aguilera. She is fantastic. And
Do you hear her do that tune with Mick Jagger on the Shine a Light movie?
oh yeah,
Oh my
man.
gosh, blew me away.
Oh, I'm telling you, it's just unbelievable the things that she can do.
Oh yeah.
And my wife and I watched her movie that's out with Cher.
I haven't seen that yet.
Oh, you got to see it. Oh man, that little girl can perform. She can get up there with them, with the best and top of the line. She can lead the show.
That's great.
She's just amazing singer.
Oh yeah.
So I won't say too much about that, but you do need to see that as soon as you can.
Will do.
And we're going to want to talk a little bit about the Roy Orbison thing. I know you're getting excited about that.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
There's a lot of great stuff. I'm doing a book and my life story about. There's so many things I could write about. I could do a whole book on Elvis, a book on Ricky.
Yep.
But
Absolutely.
I want to get my story out there, and I think everyone's gonna. Maybe they'll enjoy it.
Any idea when that's going to be released? You got to get it
Not
done
at the moment.
first, huh?
Not at the moment, but
Okay.
I'm ready to get rolling.
Well, sounds good. Well, listen, I know you need to run. I will get with Dennis about setting up another one, and I'll fine tune the questions a little tighter on the others that I have left, and I'll shoot them to Dennis for you ahead of time, and we'll make this one tight. And and of course, like I told Dennis, I
But
submit.
you're gonna do it. You're gonna edit everything all in one.
Absolutely.
interview, right?
So
Okay.
So we'll make it a good one, and I'll start writing on the transcriptions right away, and I'll get with Dennis later this week for a second round of questions there.
Thanks, Randy. Well, good job. God bless. Have a great day.
Thank you, Mr. Burton. I sure appreciate it.
Thank
Take
you,
care.
pal. Okay,
Bye-bye.
bye.
Don't go away. Here are the comments by former Rock and Roll Hall of Fame CEO Terry Stewart. After he's done, that'll be the end of this particular episode. Until next time.
Terry Stewart.
Terry, Randy Patterson here, Boomerocity.
Hey, Randy, how are you?
Great. Is right now still a good time?
Sure.
All right, great. Hey, thanks again. Appreciate it every time you help me out on this. So,
No problem.
what do you have to say about Mr. Burton?
Well, I mean, I didn't really come up with anything other than the fact that there are only a few guitars that you hear across the
breadth and the landscape and the history of rock and roll, and certainly James Burton is one of them. Whether he's that enormous, extraordinary riff that he created for Susie Q with Dale Hawkins, to all the great Ricky Nelson records that we heard, the various sessions, and then Elvis Presley. I mean, how much better does it get? You know, so I mean, and on top of that, he's one of the nicest guys you'll ever meet.
Yep.
So between those two, hopefully you can work out a comment there.
I'll attribute a very good one to you. So.
Okay.
This has been another Boomerocity episode by your host and producer, Randy Patterson. Theme music is Roll the Dice by my good friend Quentin Hope. All rights reserved and used by permission. Post-productions by Cardinal Sins Productions. And just keep in mind, folks, the Boomerocity name, logo, and content is copyright protected. Segments of any length or in any way, shape, or form may only be used with written permission by Boomerocity and or its assignees. Inquiries should be directed to input@boomerocity.com.